Welcome in to another edition of the PA High School Football Report. We are sponsored by OSS Health. Thank you very much to those folks.
Yep.
Eric Epler, PennLive. Dan Sosnick, PennLive. Back in the belly of the beast. It's chilly down here, which is why we're wearing our
why it's chilly?
hunting caps.
It's that little bite of postseason football coming our way. I think.
That's that. You know what? That might have been you could have just given that a little smoother.
Yeah, a
little smoother delivery. It would have been just fine.
Yeah, it's probably because I was up till 3 a.m. watching that 18-inning baseball game last night.
Well, how did you not? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And plus, you were somewhere Sunday night, correct?
Yeah, I was also up late. That drove home from Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
That night. I got to cover Harrisburg alum Micah Parsons.
Parsons action.
The sacking Aaron Rodgers and sending the Steelers fans into a bit of a tailspin. But fun night down in the North Shore there.
Is it? No, first of all, I can't. I wanted so much to like the Steelers unis.
Oh, it was the talk of the press box.
Yeah.
I mean, I said they kind of look like AI generated. Both they kind of look like
Scorsese in Any Given Sunday, or was that Scorsese?
Yeah. Other people were comparing it to the uniforms in The Dark Knight Rises when Bane blows up Heinz Field.
Good point. Good point.
It looks like them.
Yeah.
And if they maybe had just steered into it, it'd be like, we are the Pittsburgh Gothams or whatever the heck they were called.
That would have been good.
It would have been cool.
Yeah.
But instead they're just like, no, these are cool uniforms that we made.
And is it just me? But Micah looks more dangerous
As a Packer.
No.
Oh.
In the green.
Oh yeah.
Wearing green than he does white.
Yeah.
Like he almost looks like
you start thinking of Reggie White and you start thinking of,
maybe that's it. But like when he's in his green, it's menacing. Like you don't want to go anywhere near him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in his whites, he looks kind of gentle, and then he, of course, cracks your head open.
Yeah.
But so you've had a busy number of days in a row.
A lot of driving. Yeah, I got to go see the Pitt Panthers homecoming game. 4-0 with the freshman quarterback Mason Heinzel, and a lot of District 3 contributors on Saturday. Kenny Johnson.
Yep.
I basically, since they've switched to this Mason Heinzel kid, Kenny Johnson has finally kind of done what I think a lot of people in this area and in Pittsburgh thought he could do.
Well, they had flashes early, but they just didn't look to him enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Sean Lee playing well, continues to play well. Some buzz actually that former Harrisburg defensive back Justin Cook's going to get some reps the next few weeks to kind of spell some other running backs as well. So
I would give Justin Cook some looks.
Yeah,
for sure. Give him some carries.
Yeah. But fun weekend. Micah Parsons had a sack, caught up with him afterwards. It was crazy. That was actually his first time playing in Pittsburgh since his freshman year at Penn State in 2018.
Interesting.
And never played a game there before. And I think at that point he was playing stand-up linebacker, kind of. I think we can all agree now, probably not the best uses of his. He was a good stand-up linebacker. He's got to be good no matter what position he plays. But I think people kind of rightly figured this is a guy that should be chasing quarterbacks down.
Well, it's just the combination, the speed. I mean, linebacker too. If he devoted his time to just linebacker,
he'd be like Luke Kuechly or whatever.
He'd be pretty darn good too. Yeah, absolutely. But I think he likes the content. I think he loves the fact of being
I got a question into Jordan Love, asked him about him. He said you can't really turn him off in practice either. That we have to tell him to chill out a little bit and stop hitting.
Don't kill me, Micah.
Exactly.
Please don't kill me. Yeah. All right, so let's run down what's going to happen here over the next, 25, 30 minutes. We are very lucky to have, and during the day, too.
Yeah.
Listen, Lower Dauphin's Hunter Strohm has obviously been one of our top overall players in the Mid-Penn.
Top athletes, I'd say.
This year. Yeah, absolutely. He was our player of the year in baseball. He's a Mississippi State recruit. Set to sign next month. Was Virginia. Mm-hmm. Coaching staff went to Mississippi State.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom. He moved over to Mississippi State. Unbelievable catcher. Was our reigning player of the year for PennLive. I loved him as a linebacker because I think linebacker to the traditional sort of sense it's a lost art. You don't see many sort of just straight up, old school kind of linebackers.
Eye black running down your cheeks.
Right. And he is that, and obviously in a modern frame, you know what I mean? Obviously, So, but he's also one of the top running backs in the Mid-Penn Conference. I believe he went into Friday's game, which is Week 10, end of regular season, right around 1,100 yards and a boatload of touchdowns. And I think he added 4 more. So anyway, we're going to have Hunter Strohm joining us here in about 10 minutes. Let's see what he has to say. Lower Dauphin is set to play Exeter in the first round of the District 5A tournament. All districts begin Friday, so lots going on. So we're going to talk about postseason. Obviously, we're going to talk about a couple of matchups, maybe make a few picks. We save them usually for the website, but we'll see what's going on in the playoffs, and then we'll talk to Hunter Strohm a little bit, and then maybe talk a little bit outside of the district as well. Because there's always little tidbits and little controversies here and there.
Yeah.
There was a big controversy in the Whitfield 4A class where some teams got higher seeds than most figured out. But anyway, So let's get to District 3 postseason. We have made it through 10 weeks, which is unbelievable because it feels like yesterday.
It's cliche to say it, right?
Right. It'd be like June, whatever. I don't know. When did we start working on football? June 20th, maybe, something like that. And it's just such a grind getting to the regular season. And when it's here, you get in a pattern. Things start developing, and boom, here we are now with technically only 6 weeks left in the entire football season.
Yep.
So
we're already almost at our winter media days. That's how quick
we're only 2 weeks away, really, 2.5 weeks away from winter media days. So those are always fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's jump in. Let's start with 6A. Obviously, with 10 seeds making it, you're going to have a bunch of buys.
Yeah.
You've only got 4.
But the 2 matchups are pretty fun.
It should be interesting, and I say this because Cedar Cliff is one of those teams. I don't think, being shoved into Commonwealth Division last year, and obviously this being their second year in, I don't think with the changes and the turnover that Colin Gillen had, and we mentioned this a little bit. I talked a little bit about this on Sunday on a podcast. I'm not sure we thought Cedar Cliff was going to be a postseason team.
No.
I didn't think so. I thought they'd be just on the outside. But here they are, sitting there at the 8 seed, and obviously they're going to host Cedar Crest.
Yeah.
What do you like about this game, and maybe what do you like about Cedar Cliff's chances?
Well, first off, I as a weird guy, love that all 4 teams playing in 6A, all 4 teams school names begin with the letter C. So that's the first thing.
Very good point. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Cedar Cliff, Cedar Crest, Cumberland Valley, Central Dauphin.
Right.
So as a very weird guy, I like that. But all right, but let's get to the actual football. Cedar Cliff is just a team right now. I think that Cumberland Valley lost in Week 10. There are a couple ways you could look at that, right? You could look at that they're not playing their best football right now, or you could look at it like, hey, they kind of already felt that the Altoona game was more of the win and you're in. This is a game where we're not as desperate to win this game as Cumberland Valley would necessarily be. And they win that game. They lose that game pretty handily, but they still host a playoff game. And they have that formula that Colin Gillen, it's the typical Colin Gillen formula that is pretty conducive to doing well, and especially in these early stages, I feel like, of playoff football, which is that you shorten the game, you trust your kind of big men up front, you run the football with Landon Howell, your defense led by Will Coker's had a great year, Blake Seacrest has had a great year. You trust them to get the job done on enough big plays. From the couple games I've seen of Cedar Cliff this year, I actually think one of the fun keys and one of the fun wrinkles is Jalen Hinton, their quarterback.
Yes.
I think he's a really promising. I'm not young. I think he's a junior, right? But his ability to move and throw on the run is pretty good for a team that's pretty run heavy. In the Harrisburg game, they actually had a decent amount of success early in the game with a lot of play action. They're doing what a lot of offensive coordinators kind of get yelled at when you're an NFL fan.
Right.
You're like, why are you running the ball so much even though you're not gaining yards? It's like you're doing it so you can set up play action, you can set up rollouts.
Right.
And I think Cedar Cliff's good at setting that stuff up. Cedar Crest is a team that has some good wins. I believe they beat Lower Dauphin earlier in the year. It's not going to be an easy game by any means, but I like that Cedar Cliff that Cedar Cliff recipe in a first round matchup.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. I mean, obviously those two teams are pretty similar in the fact that they both play in really, really good divisions. I mean, really good divisions. Obviously, Cedar Cliff, I think obviously the Mid-Penn Commonwealth, you would agree, is a little bit stronger, top to bottom, any given week, as they say. But, Section 1 of LL is not too far behind.
No.
Manheim Township's sitting there 9-1. Wilson's 8-2. You've got those two teams. You've got a couple others that are difficult. I know they lost. Cedar Crest lost to Hempfield, by a wide margin, which was a little bit of a surprise to me anyway. But Hempfield is a playoff team. But yeah, I agree with you on all things. For Cedar Cliff, I just think Colin Gillen. We talk enough about how he gets max effort out of his guys. And I think they're playing with a certain, as I say, looseness. Sort of, not that they're undisciplined or anything like that, but I think the confidence level is good enough where they're like, you know what, we can, every time we step on the field, we can beat.
And they've proven they can move on from losses. So
exactly. So I look forward to that one. I think Cedar Cliff probably would have an edge in my book, but again, it's postseason, wear and tear. 10 weeks get you. I understand. This one, I have to tell you a story about Central Dauphin at Cumberland Valley. It's not uncommon a few days before the last game to get some text messages of teams that are either on the fence or beyond the fence.
Because, again, I think as we mentioned in the Hunter's Tournament, you are a mathematician wizard.
Yes. I have let's call it, you see a lot of videos on Facebook. I have a hack. Mm-hmm. For this, I don't go into the entire formula and dig through, and there's a hack that I use that gives you a pretty good picture. Mm-hmm. It's not a definitive picture, but it's a pretty good picture of what could happen. And Coach Mack, for Central Dauphin head coach Glenn Mack, gave me a text message, and he rarely texts. So obviously he's just like, "Hey, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Like, what do I need? What do we need to do?" Now he's sitting there 3-6. Mm-hmm. The Rams are 3-6, walking into their game against Chambersburg. Chambersburg's 4-5 in the same boat. They're 12-13 when only 10 go. Mm-hmm. So I look at it, Coach. You need to win. You need to beat Chambersburg, and unfortunately, you need a lot of help. Yeah. You need a loss by Dallastown. You need a loss by Governor Mifflin. Cedar Crest playing Lebanon doesn't help you, because that's an automatic dub. Yep. Lebanon's just struggling. So it's dire. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And he said, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, thanks. Nothing. So Friday night, I'm writing a story in my truck in the parking lot of Sheets on the Carlisle Pike, as I tend to do
that's
on a Friday
solid
night.
Location for writing.
Well, it's bright. They have a lot of street light things, so you park underneath one. You don't have to jam your two little overhead lights on. So it all works out, right? So I have to go on a radio at 11:15. Well, it's now 11:05, and I'm just like, all right. So I check scores real quick. I just run through and look, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, no, wait a minute. So I look. Dallastown closes. Mifflin loses. Crest wins. Central Dauphin wins. So right before I go on the radio, I just text Coach Mack, and I said, Coach, remember all those things I said needed to happen? It appears that they happened. So right now you're sitting at 10, and I didn't hear anything for an hour. Mm-hmm. I get off the radio. I finish up some other things, and I'm just ready to start the car and head home. It's 12:30 at night, and I get a text. Wow, thanks, Ep. And I knew he probably knew well before that. You know what I mean? But it was just one of those things where, great, hey, backing into the playoffs is just like making it qualified.
And now you get the big rivalry game at Chapman.
Now you have a rivalry game with Cumberland Valley. Obviously, it's going to it's great. Cumberland Valley there for a while was, we talked about getting to 5-5. Yeah. 5-5 is the magic number. But Central Dauphin's 4-6 in Mason. That is the magic of playing in the Mid-Penn Commonwealth. Yes, you get beat up, but man, it pays dividends when you're talking about these power rating formula. So good for Central Dauphin. I don't know.
I have no read on this game.
That's exactly what I was just going to say, Dan. This is a struggle for me to put any kind of sense on where it is, because
they're Jekyll and Hyde teams. Well, not really. Yeah. I guess you can't even say that. Cumberland Valley's not Jekyll and Hyde, but every game it just comes down to a couple plays here and there.
Exactly.
It's I said it when we went in that state college game. I said I know people are overlooking them, but Cumberland Valley's just going to play every game close. That's just what they do.
Yep. And we've talked a lot about Cumberland Valley's defense being very good. I think most were surprised. I was surprised not that Cumberland Valley beat Cedar Cliff, but the margin. Yeah. The margin surprised me.
They finally got that run game. Like, that's what we've been saying all year. If they can get that run game going, they become a really dangerous football team.
And they don't need 150 rushing yards, but 80, 90 yards.
A couple first downs every drive on the ground.
Yep, because you can utilize those wide receivers. Brody Pons is an exceptional athlete. Zayden Smith is an exceptional athlete. I mean, even with the loss of Elijah Sherman early in the season, these guys are very, very talented. Colton Stamey's a kid that can get them the ball if he just gets a little bit of time. And obviously Colton can tuck and run as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it surprised me. The 48 points surprised me. So, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it a pick 'em and just take my chances.
Yeah, maybe flip a coin.
Yeah, I think you have to. I
do one of those things where the dog hits the ball down the stairs, and whichever trash can it lands in, that's who
That's
wins.
exactly right. Probably, yeah. All right, let's move on to 5A. Dan, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to talk to one of the aces of the 5A bracket. That's Hunter Strohm from Lower Dauphin, linebacker / running back / SEC bound catcher. Yeah, that's a pretty good trifecta there. All right, couple of first round games here, all Friday night. Lower Dauphin, we're going to start with Lower Dauphin at Exeter. That's a 10-7 game.
Yep.
What do you think?
I love how Lower Dauphin's playing right now. I just think that they're I mean, yeah, you can kind of nitpick the schedule a little bit, I guess, but I just think that they are, even with the injuries that they've dealt with, the ability of a guy like Hunter to, just really kind of batter teams on both ends and be none the worse for it.
Right.
Again, this is the kind of stuff that I think when you get to the later rounds, it's really sort of the talent and the depth kind of plays a bigger role. But in these early games, I'm just always going to be leaning to the teams that are going to be able to pick up those 6-7 yards on plays that would be 1 to 2 yards.
Right.
And I really trust Lower Dauphin to on offense be the team that's gaining those 7-8 yards on first down, and then on defense forcing a team to start a couple yards back. That said, the Exeter team was just in the district championship last year.
Right.
They've lost some players from that team, but it's still a team with pedigree. Hunter tells us later on in the interview, this has been a Lower Dauphin team that hasn't had this record in 10 years.
Absolutely, yep.
Sometimes that benefits you, though. Sometimes it gives you a little more hunger. But there's also I'm sure there are going to be some nerves before that game, and you might need to get might take that first hit to settle things down. But I just love a team like Lower Dauphin that had to battle for a solid 8 weeks to get to where they are now, and I always feel like that comes into handy.
Yeah, I agree with you. Exeter's probably, obviously a little ticked off. They lost 2 games in the late part of the season, second half of the season. Leo Brown obviously is a tremendous running back. He's approaching 2,000 yards in the season. So you better get there early because the game might be like 90 minutes long.
Yeah.
Maybe if you get a little extended halftime, you know what I mean? It's a little longer, but that's the kind of game it's going to be. It's going to be who wins the line of scrimmage, who can get a little bit of push. And obviously, like you said, I mean, both of these running backs, Strohm and Brown, I mean, they're 6-7 yards a carry guys.
Yeah.
So
it's like, again, I can't overstate enough how big that is in these. You have to avoid those 2nd and 12s when you're in these moments in the postseason. Like it's such a to have easy down and distance in these games is what wins your playoff football games.
Yep. All right, a couple other matchups. Muhlenberg at Spring Grove. Muhlenberg obviously sitting there with a late loss. 2 losses the last couple weeks. And we got Redland at Mechanicsburg, which is a rematch.
Yeah, and Warwick. It feels like the Keystone Division was sort of shortchanged a little with some of the strength of schedule stuff. Like Mechanicsburg sitting 9-1 as a 5 seed or as a 6 seed. I'm not good at this math stuff. I do wonder, if that Lower Dauphin Connor Kreiser field goal goes wide, if maybe they have a first round bye or not.
I mean, I guess it's possible, but the thing is you know, in the
Then
Keystone you had 5 strong, 5 sort of struggling.
Yeah.
So you know, you're that strength of schedule rises and falls pretty drastically because the records keep continuing to drop.
But I think that
So-
Mechanicsburg Redland game is fascinating because
It is.
I know that I didn't cover that game. I believe the mechanic when we had the Mechanicsburg kids on, they said they should have won that game by more, but they didn't.
Right.
It was a close game, and Redland's gonna be fired up for their first playoff appearance in however many years. But that Mechanicsburg defense, man, is just really tough to crack, especially when Colin Stair's healthy. I know you got to see their game.
I did.
When Colin Stair had hinted at a wrinkle that they didn't put in. I think it was him playing fullback, which I would.
What most don't know is he warmed up in number 54,
Re-
which is his normal number.
yeah.
And then he put on jersey 99 to go into the game. So it was like, and I asked their QB. I asked him afterwards. I'm like, who does he think he's fooling? Like he's 6'4", 280,
Yeah,
whatever.
I
he is.
think he kind of stands
Who do
out.
you think you're fooling, everybody? But yeah, no, it was good. I think he had 2 rushes, 8 yards. But just having that extra lead blocker too for Reese Miller made a difference because Shippensburg, we talk about this all the time. They make you win ugly. If you're going to beat them, it's going to be ugly. And I thought their front 4 on defense played tremendous against Miller, who had 113 yards, but it took him 28 carries.
Yeah.
That's something. Mechanicsburg had no passing yards at all. Now, they only attempted 5 passes, but Noah Apple was 0 for 5 with a pick, So it's not like it came, easily for Mechanicsburg. So you have to give Shippensburg credit. Speaking of Ship, they're playing at Warwick. That's a 12. That's at 5 battle Friday night. But Shippensburg, we say a lot of good things about Eric Faust, and rightly so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this literally could be one of his best coaching jobs in his career at Shippensburg. Don't get me wrong. There's some guys running around. He's got some dudes, but it's not a ton. It's not a ton. The way he sort of cultivated that team and kept them in this to go 7-3 in that division is really, really impressive. So, all right. Well, speaking of Lower Dauphin, let's get to our featured guests. Yeah. We're going to bring on Hunter Strohm here, see what he has to say about Exeter, going to the SEC, and a lot of other good things. All right, we are thrilled to have one of the best linebackers in the Mid-Penn Conference and, of course, one of the best running backs as well, Lower Dauphin's Hunter Strohm. Hunter, thanks for joining us, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
I wanted to first just do the overall picture of what's the atmosphere like now around the squad. Obviously, you made it through a very difficult regular season. 10 weeks in any division, I think, is pretty difficult. But obviously, the Keystone blessed with a couple of nice programs there. So you get beat up every week, you come back for more. You made it through 10 weeks. Now you're heading to postseason. What's the team morale like right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much all year the vibes were super high. Even after the first couple of tough games for us, I think we all believed in the schemes and the coaching staff. So I'd say the vibes are still really high, and obviously getting the past couple of wins, it's been a real great thing for us, and we're just excited to go in playoffs and hopefully win one for Coach Borelli, because as long as he's been at Lower Dauphin, he hasn't won a post-game or postseason game yet, and that's just our big goal for us this year, is to get him that first win.
Yeah, and it kind of going off what Epp said, has it almost felt like every game after those first couple losses has sort of been like a postseason game, sort of? Because you know how Epp is a mathematician. He understands all the power ranking stuff. I am an English major, and I'm not trying to figure any of that stuff out. But have you guys just kind of treated every game like, hey, if we want to make the playoffs, we have to win these games? And I imagine you viewed them as every game we can win each one of these games. But was that kind of the mindset going into these contests?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think after our Redland loss, that was kind of the big thing going in. Coach sat down and talked to us and said, look, guys, something needs to change. And I think it was the way we prepared for games. I think we kind of went in thinking that, it's just another game, when in reality, every game matters. I mean, you saw it this year. A 7-3 team didn't get into the playoffs, which looking at last year, it was 5-5 teams were in. So I think it just goes to show like we had to prepare a lot better and start taking those games as if they were postseason games. And I think that set us up really well for the rest of the year. And then hopefully this coming week, it kind of sets us up as well because we've had those 7 games of postseason play already in our heads, and now we have the real deal. So I think we've kind of gone through it already, and we're just super excited to get after it again.
Yep. For those who don't know, Hunter, you're wearing your Mississippi State Bulldogs sweatshirt.
Yes, sir.
You're a Mississippi State baseball commit, one of the top catchers in the state. Obviously, you're going to SEC school. You must be doing something right. But coming in this year, was there any doubt you were going to be playing football? Is that something that the staff at Mississippi State encourages? Because, it's a hot topic. It's been a hot topic for a decade plus now about specialization in sports. I know your sister's obviously an incredible field. Like you have a lot of sports in your family. Was there ever any doubt you were going to play? Obviously, there's a little gap between the football and baseball season, so it gives you a little leeway.
Right.
But were you pretty dead set on playing football this year?
I would say last year, honestly, when the season ended, I thought I was done. And I think that there was a lot of things that I could have done this fall, baseball wise, but the staff at Mississippi State, they encouraged me to play. They said that they're in full support. If anything would ever have happened to me, they're in full support of me, helping me rehab and all of that stuff. So they were super supportive right away. And then I say with our offensive coordinator change, I'd say that was kind of one of the big things for me is I love Coach Gorley. He's been someone that I've always had a really good relationship with. And then seeing him come out and being the offensive coordinator for us this year, I was super excited. And I think that was kind of the big thing that changed for me was I want to win. That's the reason I played this year is I want to win. I want to win a postseason game for Coach Borelli because he's taught me so much in the 4 years that I played football. So yeah, I'd say after that big change was when I kind of decided again that I was going to play. And then obviously this summer is when I told Coach Borelli that I was in again. And he was super ecstatic, but I think obviously like it was just one of those things that I want to support my school and kind of hopefully win a championship or maybe just get a good record or something like that because Lower Dauphin hasn't gone 7-3 since 2015. So that was definitely one of our things. It's a building block and just continuing to hopefully let the program continue to grow. I think that was my big thing going in to this year.
Brian O'Connor's got to be careful because Jeff Levy might come and ask you to play some snaps at linebacker for the football team too. So, yeah.
Did Coach tell you basically too when you told him, hey, listen, I'm coming back, I'm going to play my senior year? Did he tell you that you were going to tote the rock as much as you are right now?
No, so I think going in it was Mateo and I. That was the plan, and then Ethan Tanner a little bit as well. And since we all play defense, kind of just give each other like equal reps and all of that stuff. But I think obviously there was some injuries and different cramps and stuff early in the season, and then that kind of just allowed me to take the ball and just run with it. And I think that obviously I've gained the coach's trust enough that they trust in me to just run the ball as many times as is needed. I mean, you saw that in the Mifflin County game. They gave me the ball 39 times, and it just goes to show that they had the trust in me just to get the job done. And obviously I was in well enough shape that I was able to do it. So I was just super happy to get that done.
Which side of the ball do you like better? Or is I know obviously there's most of the guys that I talk to who kind of platoon running back and linebacker, they sort of morph towards linebacker because you just get to hit people harder.
No,
but
I definitely agree. Yeah, I'm a defensive guy. When I played ice hockey, I was a defenseman. So I definitely say linebacker just because you get to hit someone. But on offense too, like running someone over, I don't think that there's a better feeling in football, especially if you run them over and you score a touchdown. I think those are two of the best feelings in the world. But also stopping someone 4th and 2, 4th and 1, nothing can beat that.
Did you guys feel like you had several turning points? Like to me, it almost seemed like the mechanics per game was the signal that you guys were not just on the rebound, but obviously back and somebody that, a squad that needs to be taken seriously every time, when you show up. What did you guys got to learn against the Mechanicsburg team? Because that was the benchmark program, obviously winning it last year,
Yeah.
and obviously being one of the favorites in the Keystone to move on as well.
No, I think we just learned a lot about ourselves as a team. I think it just showed that we're super gritty. Even though we might not have a ton of guys that have come out for the team this year, we had the right number of guys. I mean, pretty much everybody that's on the sideline gets in at some point. So I think it just gave everyone a ton of confidence, just showing that we can hang with those schools that have won in the past. And I think that it just gave us a ton of confidence in in the next coming games. Just keep working hard, and the things that we're doing in practice, they're working, and just have total faith and confidence in our coaching staff. And I think that's what we did, and obviously we won a bunch of games after that. So yeah, I'd say that just gave us a ton of confidence, and I think it kind of just told us who our identity was. Like, we're gonna run the football and draw the clock out, and we're gonna play really good defense as well. So it just gave us a ton of confidence on both sides of the football.
So you're a catcher. First off, who's your favorite catcher to watch in Major League Baseball?
I definitely say GT Remuto. He's really, really good, and I'm a Phillies guy too, so that definitely helps.
There you go. Obviously, there's been a lot of there's in recent years, especially with guys like Patrick Mahomes and a lot of these other quarterbacks. There's been a lot of that time between playing shortstop and playing quarterback and things like that. Have you seen any connection between what you do well in baseball and what you do in football? Could be just mental stuff. Could be even some of the physical traits. Has there been any bleed over between the two sports for you?
Yeah, I'd definitely say my freshman year, I learned more about myself in football than my freshman year than probably any other time. I mean, going through 2 days for the first time, waking up with like the third or fourth day in the morning, and you're super, super sore, but you got to keep pushing through. I think that taught me a lot. And it's really prepared me for the past couple of years baseball wise as well, because different tournaments and such that I've been in and events that I've participated in over this summer. It's a lot of late nights and early mornings, and I think that kind of has prepared me for different events and all of that stuff as well. And kind of the minor league life, it's a grind, and I think that 2 days has really helped me kind of learn how to take care of your body, how to eat right, how to drink lots of water, and all that stuff. Get in bed at a good time, and then also from a physical side, I mean, it's let me take a beating on my body, and I know how hard I can push my body as well. And then I'd say running as well. I think I've gotten a lot faster over the past couple of years, and I'd definitely say it's because of football, and all the lifting that we do, and it's definitely translating over to baseball. So yeah, I'd definitely say that football has helped me a lot mentally and physically for baseball.
I've seen Chase on the pitch, obviously, and I've seen you. Who's faster? I mean, this is a legit question, Hunter. I mean, you know what I mean? She's
I don't
pretty
know.
fast, man.
Yeah, I think she's got me, honestly. She's really quick, and she's got those little strides that she can get to top speed faster than me. So I'd definitely say she got me on that one.
Has it been a fun time this year in Lower Dauphin? Obviously, you've got the football team in the playoffs. You got the volleyball team in the playoffs. I was just at the girls' soccer game. They're going for their third district title in 4 seasons. What's been the vibe like in the hallways, in the locker rooms? There must be a lot of excitement.
No, I'd definitely say it's a great time to be a Falcon. I'd say this year, boys soccer, we like the student sections were insane for those games. Girls soccer, we've had a great showing this year. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and I think we, as a senior class, we're super super close knit. So, and we have a lot of friends that are in the younger grades as well. So we just like to go out and support each other, and I think that definitely plays a role in how everyone's playing this year. Just because there's a lot of people there supporting them, and they feel that, and they kind of thrive off of the energy. And then with obviously ice hockey starting and all of that, it's just a great time to be a Falcon, like I said, and it's just a lot of fun. And I know everyone kind of feeds off the energy that the students bring to the games.
Yeah. Did you say you were a hockey player at one point? How long did you play ice hockey for?
Yeah, I started skating when I was 2, and then I stopped playing ice hockey when I was in 8th grade.
Was that one of your
I
first
played.
sports?
Yeah, that was probably one of my first sports. I mean, I think I skated for a year or two before I started getting a stick in my hands, and then after that I kind of just took off with it and played every year until eighth grade.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, I think Brad Muir was just at your guys'
Yep.
opening game last night, so I'm sure they miss you out there, but I'm sure they're happy what you're doing on the football field.
Yeah, who knew you? Who would have guessed you'd have been a defenseman? Yeah.
I know. Yep.
So let's move forward just a quick little bit. You're obviously a 7 seed in the 5A playoffs, District 3. You're going up against. You got to travel to Exeter Township. Obviously, a quality squad sitting there 8-2. What have you seen from them? Have you had a chance to kind of take in what they do and watch some film on them so far?
Yeah, I started personally watching film on Saturday. Yesterday we broke down as a team our game plan and all of that stuff. And I think one of the biggest things that sticks out to us about Exeter's, I feel like we're very similar teams. We both run very similar defenses, and then offensively we have very similar approaches. We both want to draw out the clock, run the ball a lot, and I think we're both very physical teams. Watching film, they bully guys around a little bit, and I think looking into that game, I think that's one that I'm definitely excited for, just because I'm a physical guy, and those games are always really, really fun to me. They get me once or twice, and I get them once or twice, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and I think that's definitely one of the biggest things that I've seen as watching film this week so far, is we're very similar teams on both sides of the football.
Does Coach Kalana keep showing up just to make sure you're all right at the end of the game?
Yeah, I definitely get texts from him. I know after the Hershey game, he sent me a text and said great job and all that. But yeah, I think I see him around a good bit. So just keep him updated with how everything is going, and he's at most games too. So he knows. But yeah, he definitely checks in a good bit.
He's fantastic. He's been there forever, Dan, and and obviously he's one hell of a coach first and foremost. But obviously the way he looks very stoic, obviously when he's involved. But the way he does care about his players, he obviously truly cares about Lower Dauphin, and has done just a tremendous job. I mean, guys like Hunter, the Hunters. You're one in a million, obviously, but right. just the athletes that keep coming out of there and keep going on to college has been really, really impressive too. So, you got anything else for Hunter?
No, I think we covered most of it.
Brother, we appreciate your time, my man. Obviously, best of luck Friday. Go get that district dub for Coach Borelli,
Thank you.
And obviously continued support. And we'll obviously be running into you here on the sidelines shortly. But thanks again for your time.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Welcome back. Thank you very much to Hunter Strohm, Lower Dauphin's running back / linebacker / SEC bound catcher
/ maybe he
hockey defenseman.
That did not surprise you at all, did you?
No, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Strohm is our reigning baseball player of the year. He had a tremendous year. I think at one point he was hitting like .690.
Yeah.
Through about 12, 13 weeks. Or 13 games during the season last year.
Yeah.
But it obviously a great backstop to have, and a really good asset for Lower Dauphin. Okay, Dan, let's move on. I think when we left off, we got through 5A, first round games, just a couple of first rounders here in 4A. One of them has a lot of interest to us, Middletown, who is the 10 seed at Eastern York.
And it sounds like they could have jumped up a few spots and
they would have had they gotten the extra point.
Yeah, it's
real.
Well, no, I guess they would have gone to overtime. Right?
They would have gone to overtime, but they unfortunately they had a penalty on the touchdown.
But I mean, I think regardless, that tells you what kind of team and what kind of job JJ Ortiz has done with this Middletown program his first year. The fact I don't think any of us had our bingo card week 10. They would be competing with a Trinity team that has multiple Division I football players on their team, and Middletown. I'm a big fan of wide receiver Nikkei Zenon. I think that kid's one of the best receivers in the mid-pen this year. But I think that they've been playing. You don't want to say above their talent weight because that sounds insult. But I think that they are playing to their utmost capabilities every single week. And I think that makes them a dangerous team in the postseason.
Yeah, they've got a little bit cooking in all directions, in all parts. Obviously, Luis Roman's been really good rushing the football. Gavin Paul obviously rushes the football as well. Harrison Ortiz has been really, really good at just sort of, keeping everything going, keeping everything moving. And obviously he's got pretty good numbers as well. You mentioned Xenon, who's been tremendous. George Hartwick at linebacker has been really good all season. So they've got parts, you know what I mean? And just the toughness that these guys bring. I mean, I know, Brett Myers, when he came back, promised to restore the sort of grit in that program. He did. Look what he's doing now at Twin Valley, who we just ranked number 1 this week in 4A for a couple of things that happened. But yeah, I think Middletown's done a tremendous job, and they're a live 10 seed in this one for sure. I mean, Eastern York is a quality squad. They've got some good talent there, but they've been fading, against some better teams in the last couple of weeks. So we'll see. All right, 3A, Dan, we got two of our squads in the Mid-Penn. Big Spring travels to Bermudian Springs.
Tough matchup for the Bulldogs.
5-4. It is a tough matchup, but I think they'll break through. I think they'll get through that one. Yeah. I do. I just think that Grady Hope is now healthy.
That's a big.
He got some solid reps last week, and turned into a 3-digit performance. Guys like Jordan Myers are doing well. You always.
Bermudian Springs just has a little more reps in the postseason in memory, which is but Grady Hope is, I think, kind of the straw that definitely on offense. He's kind of the straw that stirs the drink there a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you never count out. We like Chance Fry as your quarterback.
Yeah.
Just a real gritty kid, and obviously a gamer. And then we got Schuylkill Valley at Trinity, a 6-3 for the right to move on to the semis. Schuylkill Valley is an interesting team, but I just think Trinity now having this base layer, this 10-week base layer of what to do, getting the scare against Middletown last week. I just think these guys will be prepped and ready for this one.
Yeah, my Trinity description is like it's not the flashiest football team in the world.
No,
but they're workmanlike and they know what it's not even like the same kind of methods like that, the way we talk about Shippensburg or Cedar Cliff. It's a little different than that. I think it's just more like they understand how a game goes, and I think they have a good sense of the flow, and they can pass when they need to. They've got some good weapons outside. That I know Brandon Harris got hurt a little bit, but he's had an impressive sophomore season.
Yep.
And that defense is just really tough to crack a lot of times. So.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's what I like about Trinity. It doesn't always look fluid.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have yet to see an offense or yet to see a team other than maybe Bethlehem Catholic in week 1 to sort of at least slow down Maddox Jarzinski on the outside. I think Mason Boyer's done a really good job of coming along at quarterback. And then you've got guys like Marcus Yeager. You mentioned, some of these FBS guys that are toiling around for the Shamrocks, and if they put it all together, it looks really, really good. I mean, I've seen them a couple times. I've seen it, where they've been sort of clicking, and it looks really, really tough to beat.
Yeah.
But like I said, that now you have to make sure you're at that spot. Now you have to make sure, maybe you don't have to be perfect against Schuylkill Valley. But you sure as hell have to be it after you get past that.
Yeah.
To do. But it would not surprise me to see them in a district final, and even win a district title in 3A. Yeah. All right, 2A real quick, Dan. Columbia at Steel High. That game's going to be at Camp Hills, Siebert Park.
Yeah,
Siebert Park. As you know, Steel High is road tripping all over the place this year, so they get a chance to play on the turf at Siebert Park. Against Columbia, a Columbia team, it really should be outmatched here.
Yeah, this Steel, especially with Jerome Ross back. I mean, it's a shame that we don't get Steel High statistics this year because I have a sneaking suspicion Jerome Ross leads the Mid-Penn in rushing yards if we had the numbers. He's had multiple 300-yard games and a 200-yard game. So.
Yeah, when you're rushing for 300.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
And I think he missed the game, and I think he still might lead. He's just been.
He might. Yeah.
I've talked with Coach Irby about him, and he has been vehement to me that he's a Division I football player. These guys can get overlooked in 2A. But if you're a football player, you're a football player, and he makes kids look silly out there. And I just think he's been one of the best players in the Mid-Penn this year.
Yeah, you got a couple guys in Whitfield 1A. They're not overlooked.
No, Matt Sig
being one of them.
Well, there's still people who say that stuff, and I'm like, have you watched Matt Sig play football? I don't think it matters who he's going against. You watch these guys. You watch how you can tell they move.
Well, the question you have, too, for a Matt Sig, you're okay, could Matt Sig start at Bishop McDevitt or could he start at Harrisburg? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he could.
Yeah, I think he would start in Florida. I think he'd start in
exactly.
Texas.
Yeah, you have to watch the actual games.
Yeah.
All right, so last one is Lancaster Catholic at Halifax. Man, this is probably the most intriguing game.
Yeah. I just really like what this Halifax team has done. And, it's a shame that Newport couldn't sneak in there, but after the season they had, but for Halifax to battle, and I imagine, again, I'm not the math expert. I imagine it came down to that comeback win over Newport. To kind of flip in those power rankings a little bit, and it's you don't like boiling stuff down to one or two players, but man, it's hard to look by what Teagan Carroll does for this team,
and Cohen Bechtel too. I mean, those two guys are 1 and 1A. Man, they just. They're both. I don't know if they're both over 1,000. They're probably close.
And Teagan Carroll leads the team in tackles as well.
Yeah, I mean, Teagan Carroll's been a pretty good player.
And then he's going to come
for a while.
And then he's going to come out of the football season and wrestle and probably win a district title or something. So,
yeah. They have something cooking at Halifax. I mean, it's good to see them have this kind of success, and obviously, they're in line. I mean, Lancaster Catholic's not going to hand it to them, but they have a puncher's chance to get into a championship game, perhaps, most likely with Steel High. So obviously District 1 or District 3 1A, we talked about York Catholic and Delone Catholic meeting for that one. That'll be in 2 weeks for the 1A title. So that'll do it.
Yeah.
That's a quick glance at the District 3 postseason, which begins Friday.
We still don't even know where we're going to be. We're about to find out.
We're going to have a meeting here after this, and we'll talk about where we're going. And, Austin and I we already shuffled it out. We already shuffled it out.
You've got the inside scoop.
So, but yeah, it's been a great regular season, lots of fun. All our guys stayed relatively healthy.
Yeah.
We have to stay healthy too through the grind.
Yeah, I've got to figure out my sleep schedule a little bit, but other than that, I'm good.
Taco Bell hasn't really ripped you up completely yet.
Well, we'll see.
That's a good sign. We'll see in about 20 minutes.
I've got a couple tests.
20 minutes.
I think I'm becoming Baja Blast.
And obviously, thanks to our guest Hunter Strohm for joining us. And check out Penn Live all week long. We'll have previews, rankings, features, schedules. Get out and watch some football, some playoff football. It might cost you an extra $1 now that we're in the postseason, but you know what I mean. It's only money.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for joining us. Come back next week.